Hey, just letting you guys know that I will not be putting the box office video up next week. I don't know if I'm actually gonna be able to make it up next week early. Like I was trying to get this one early, but it didn't work out. So I think I'm gonna start uploading these on Wednesday until further notice because I am going on a little vacation and I won't be home to edit the video or really record it. So let's just roll with this one. Number one, Transformers 5, which underperformed from its over $50 million estimate at $44.7 million. That is a terrible amount because if we look at the first Transformers, which did $70.5 million in its first weekend, that used to be the worst opening for the franchise, but now this is, which is really, it's not really that surprising because the series has been getting terrible reviews. Like, if your movie is under the 30%, like, it's gonna look absolutely vile to the people that want to go see a movie. So, they're not gonna go. People aren't gonna rush to the theaters to see a movie with that low Rotten Tomatoes score. Number two is Wonder Woman, holding nicely again. It went down 39.6% in its now fourth weekend, and it's been holding steady. I wouldn't be surprised if it made its way to almost $400 million. It's already gonna beat everything else in the DCU, but it's probably going to go a lot farther because it's having these monstrous holds. There's not going to be any movies really competing with it because all the movies coming out really aren't going to be targeting its audience. Number three is Cars 3. 24.1 million, minus 55.2%, which was a steeper drop than I once thought it was going to drop. I thought it was going to drop in the 40s. Because there was really no competition for it, but I guess the Transformers movie did pose a little bit of competition. But 55.2% is kind of steep for the series because it didn't debut that well in line with the series, and its drop was pretty much in line with the series. So, I just got a call. Alright, we'll just keep going. Cars' second weekend was $33.7 million. Minus 43.9%. So, Cars had a good hold because it was a new movie. People were just finding out about it. It had pretty good reviews, so that was able to have a good hold, and it was able to debut over Cars 3 regardless. Cars 2's second weekend was closer to this one, 26.3 million, with a 60.3% drop, which was a pretty steep drop. This was 55%, which was still pretty steep for this series, but I wouldn't go out celebrating this movie yet because it looks like it's not going to do as well as everybody thought it was going to do, because like nobody thought it was going to do well, but like with these drops, it's not going to get much farther. Number four is 47 meters down, 7.1 million, minus 36.7%. Which was a really small drop because everybody was predicting 50% or more, but it was able to have a good hold. And, it really goes to show that everybody likes a good shark movie. Number five is The Mummy, 6.1 million, taking a 58.2% drop. The Mummy is on its last leg. It's just doing horribly. It's taking big drops every weekend. It's probably going to be out of all theaters in the next 2 or 3 weeks, which is, I don't know why they predicted for it to do, well, because I never really thought it was going to do that well. It didn't look like that movie that was going to do very well. So, next weekend, we have Despicable Me 3 on the horizon. Gonna debut around, I have it pegged at 96 million on its first weekend. That is in line with the rest of the movies, debuting just over the second one, debuting a little bit under Minions, but I could see it outgrossing Minions anyways because it's probably gonna have better holds. And anyways, the Minions movie did go in with a lot of hype, and now that movie didn't get great reviews, it got, I don't know what percentage it got on Rotten Tomatoes, but it got a pretty low percentage. it looks like Despicable Me 3 is going to win that weekend for sure. So at number 2 we have Baby Driver at 23 million on its first weekend. Gonna overperform it. I think it's gonna overperform its 20 million for sure. There's 20 million estimate. Number 3, Transformers 5 at 18 million, a 59.7% drop on its second weekend. Now I think it could go. I think it could drop farther, but I don't think it's gonna drop that much farther than 60%. So I have it pegged at 18 million. Number 4, Wonder Woman, 16 million. I have it pegged at 16 million because I think it's going to have another good hold, 35.7% drop on its fifth weekend. And that is pretty astounding because its drops are so consistently low that, like, it's beating movies that have just came out on its fifth weekend. It's kind of insane. And it looks like rounding out the top 5, it's going to be Cars 3. It's really anyone's guess on how much it's going to drop, but I think it's going to drop around 41.8% or do 14 million on its third weekend, which, you know, is not too bad because that would be, I think that would beat, Cars 3's, that wouldn't beat Cars 3's, the weekend. It would actually be a slightly smaller drop than Cars 3, but Cars 3 was actually able to have pretty good holds after its first 2 weeks. For some odd reason, it was able to drop in the 40s and 30s consistently for weeks. But I have Cars 3 pegged at 14 million, and I think it's going to it could take a little bit of a larger drop because of Despicable Me 3's competition. But yeah, it shouldn't drop too far, but don't expect the movie to do better than 150 million domestically. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next week.